All right. Hi, guys. Happy Thursday. Camille Telicia here, the intentional goddess. I'm so excited to finally be back in the space, to be um, back, present, and online, doing video again. Sometimes it's just not the vibe for me, and that's okay. I've been spending a lot of time on Clubhouse. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Clubhouse, but that is an audio based social media app where you kind of just have live conversations, and I've really enjoyed the dynamic of in person, in real time conversations, not curating Instagram pictures and, coming up with great Facebook captions and stories and all of that. I've really been loving Clubhouse because you know why? That live feature and that ability to respond is a part of my unique success formula, which is something we're going to be talking about a little bit today. So as you can see from my beautiful backdrop, permission to expand has really been the reason why I am here now doing all this. Hey, Narissa, I see you live. Um, and that is a program that is starting up in the beginning of June, but the doors are currently open right now. We are in enrollment right now until Saturday. It's a quick enrollment because next week I have family things. I have graduation, I have baby showers, and I am in charge of all of it. And so I need to be able to focus and be fully present for my family. And so the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is that I get to shape my things, shape my life, and shape the way I work around honoring those things as well, the things that are really important and priorities for me. So, um, permission to expand. I'm going to talk more about it in a little bit, but you can go now to the link was supposed to show up on the live, but I'm not seeing it. So, oh well. Theintentionalgoddess.com/P, the number two, expand, and you can read all about it and enroll and share it with friends who you think it might also be served by the program. Anyway, so let's get into what we're going to be talking about today. So, Permission to Expand is the name of the program. What I want to discuss today is permission to play bigger, which is a one piece of this conversation that we're having inside of the program, right? And what I mean by that really is permission to show up fully as yourself, as your most authentic self, in the way that feels best and most amazing for you, right? Because I think that we are, as entrepreneurs, especially when you're newer, or if you aren't experiencing the success that you want, or the business, the amount of business that you want, you kind of start looking to all of these standardized ways of doing business that the gurus, the experts, the marketers, the ones who can get in your face the most, tell you is the way that you're supposed to be doing business, right? And so they're telling you this is how you should do it, this is what you're supposed to be doing, this is what it means to be successful, and this is, you have to grind till you're dead, basically. Hustle till you can't hustle anymore. Send 20 emails a day, post on Instagram 17 times a day, slide in people's DMs and send them random messages, and do all these different things that all the shoulds and you're supposed to, and this is your path to success. But the reality is that that is not applicable to everyone, and some of that shit doesn't even work anyway. Excuse me. Oops, excuse me. Excuse my French, but some of it doesn't even, like, we can't apply it regardless. Like for me, I just told you guys, right? I don't like posting on Instagram and trying to curate all this content and do the captions. So for me, what serves me is being able to show up in live spaces and be in response to people. And I specifically am using the language of being in response because I'm thinking about my human design, which is something that we talk about in Permission to Expand, in which my type is that I'm a generator, right? And so generators are best and most in alignment when we are in response to things, when we're able to say yes or no, or maybe here's the information I have the energy, all of those things. Again, conversations for another day. But knowing that I'm somebody who's best in response, trying to spend all of my time and energy creating things that are not in response to anything, that are these highly curated, I'm going to give you these specific words and say all this stuff, it doesn't feel as great to me. Can I do it? Absolutely. I'm fully capable. I have lots of skills. Do I do it sometimes? Absolutely. It's still a great tool. However, since I know that what feels best for me, what gives me the best results is to show up and be in response to people in real time, that is where I get to choose to spend my energy, which is why I'm here doing a live, right? Because I'm showing up, people can come in the comments, they can talk, they can ask questions, and I can what? Be in response in that space. So that is one piece of it, right? And so that is the part of the conversation in regards to why so many people right now are so many entrepreneurs. And I'm really, let me tell you, I specifically support, more often than not, service-based entrepreneurs. So people who have some sort of service, coaches, consultants, all the above. I'm not going to get in people's business, but those types of businesses, that's who I serve the best, because they are also being in response, right, in real time. So it kind of aligns with me. And so that's where we get caught up. That's where people are getting caught up, right? And getting stuck and getting frustrated because they are overthinking things, right? So they're sitting there and they have all this information. They've downloaded this, they've watched this, they've taken this class, they read this book, they read that ebook, they had that PDF. So they have, number one, information overload, right? Because they have all these different tools, tactics, tips, tricks, you name it, strategies, suggestions on how they should be doing business, how they should be showing up. And they're getting stuck because it's like, well, I don't know if this is the one that I want to do. So they start overthinking it. Like I have these conversations inside of the masterminds, inside of my coaching clients. It's so many things. And there's so many people telling them this is the way it should be done. But internally, it's not resonating, right? And so they're overthinking it because they're trying to convince themselves that I can do it, I should do it, I will do it, I have to do it. But the truth is, you don't have to do it that way. You get to do it your way. And so you get to pause, right? And say, all right, so if that doesn't feel good, if all this information, all these different tools aren't resonating with me in the way that they're being presented, how can I tweak it to make it my own? Because that's the thing that you get to do, that we all get to do as entrepreneurs, right? Is take the things, the information that we're receiving and make it our own. That is part of how you get to be successful in a aligned way that feels really good and is sustainable, right? Because we can all do little things, like we can do something that we don't like, that we don't enjoy, that doesn't feel good to us, and get a modicum of success or get lots of success. But can you sustain it if you don't enjoy it? Because that's where you end up in the burnout phase, right? Or in the disillusionment phase, where you are no longer like, I'm just not checking for it, I'm not feeling it, I don't want to do it, I don't want to show up. And so now you're becoming inconsistent because you have committed yourself to doing things that don't feel good to you, that don't align with you, that don't resonate with you and who you are. And that long term will impact your business, your business sustainability, your success, all of the things that you want, right? So that is one piece. And let me circle back to my notes, y'all, because I have the notes. One of the things about me, I know from my human design, I have what we call an open ajna. It's an open mind. So I take notes. I write my talking points down because sometimes I don't remember all the things. I'm getting lots of information all the time. I'm processing lots of information all the time. So sometimes I don't remember. So overboard, information overload, overthinking, not resonating. We talked about that, right? And so the solution, like I said, and just to get very specific, is to figure out what your unique success formula is. And so it's like, what is really, really working for you? What are the things that feel great to you? And then what are the shifts that you need to make inside of your mindset, inside of the conversations you're having with yourself, in your languaging, and what you are allowing yourself to envision for what your life can look like. And that's where the permission to expand, the permission to play bigger, that's where that whole notion comes from. Because what ends up happening is we see these things that we're supposed to do. We have all this, oh, this is how it should be, and this is what it will look like, and this is what's possible if you do it this way, and not possible if you do it that way. And it's like, but that doesn't have to be true. Like, we are the co-creators of our life. If we get a little woo-woo with it for a second, we can have anything we want, but we have to believe that we can have it, which is that permission, right? And so believing that you can have a business where you don't have to, like, you can have a successful business that doesn't require you to be posting on Instagram 20 times a day and making 17 different videos and sending 25 emails and 13 outreach DMs every day, but instead showing up in the way that is most authentic for you, that feels the best for you. That is a part of you expanding your vision for what is possible and what is available to you. And so that's something that really comes about from applying your unique success formula. First figuring it out, then applying it. And of course, inside of Permission to Expand, that's something that we will be creating and we'll be finding it, and then you'll be creating it. I will be supporting you, because ultimately this is for you. It's not for me to tell you how to show up, but it is for me to support you in deciding how you want to show up, how you want to play. Do you want to go bigger? Do you want to expand? Do you want to have all the things that are possible and available to you at your fingertips? Do you want to give yourself permission to invite those things into your life? And so that's part of what we'll be doing. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about, I said, is that I want to give you 5 steps, right? And these are kind of 5 steps to getting to your unique success formula, getting to that element of really knowing yourself. And so inside of these 5 steps, there are some action items. And so I invite you, and again, you see, we're already like, I'm not here to take up a whole bunch of your time today. Quick actionable things. I want to invite you to really take whatever you can from these steps and apply it to your life. If you decide not to be a part of Permission to Expand, these are things you can do on your own, right? That will allow you to really begin that journey of expanding your vision, playing bigger, showing up more authentically. So let's get into these 5 steps, right? And so the first 4 steps are assessments. It's not a sexy title, but there are different types of assessments, right? And then the 5th step is putting it all together. So the first assessment is the self-awareness assessment, right? This is you seeing yourself for real, because no matter, like, no change can happen, no change can start, no change can take place until you actually acknowledge where you are and who you are right now. Like, if you aren't acknowledging what is actually happening, then there's no way that you can make a change that will be impactful, because you are changing a fantasy or an illusion. So the first thing is your self-awareness assessment. Now, personally, highly recommend human design. And actually, I just realized I threw it out there and I didn't explain for any of you who don't know. Sorry, I feel my necklace here. Any of you who don't know what human design is, let me preface that. So human design is a system that is a combination of astrology, the chakra systems, I Ching, Rave Mandala, genetic code, and something else. Hey, Candace. And it is a synthesis of these things. All you have to do is input your birth information, birth time, location, date, right? And you get this beautiful body graph chart that has a bunch of shapes that are centers and all of that. And from your chart, somebody like me who reads them and provides coaching for the charts, but also you as well can do this. You will get information, the initial basic information you want to look at is your type, your strategy, your authority, your profile, which is your personality, how you show up in the world, that sort of thing. And from there, you get a lot of information about the why of how you show up. Like, it's not telling you brand new things to inform you about yourself, but it's giving you a deeper level of understanding about who you are and why you are. So I highly recommend starting with human design. Inside of Permission to Expand, I will be supporting you in reading and understanding your chart and applying and integrating it. However, you don't have to do human design if you don't want to, right? So what you can do, though, is really take a look at who you are, right? And what makes you unique. What are your strengths? What are the areas that you are easily influenced, right? Where are the areas where you create a lot of resistance and friction for yourself? And this is where that self-awareness factor comes in, right? And that honesty factor, because you really have to take a look at yourself and you have to be able to admit to yourself, like, yeah, I throw up a lot of roadblocks anytime this happens, or this is presented to me. And inside of business, that's especially important, right? Like for me, number one, I already just shared with you guys my open mind, right? My head and my mind are open. These are two centers in human design. So the head is open. So I basically am constantly open to information and data and all the thoughts of other people around me. My mind is open, which means that I sometimes can be processing and like going like this, and other times I have my space cadet moments, which is why I have my notes, right? Like I have, so because I still have the information, I still am knowledgeable, and I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I'm some master memorizer who, has the mnemonic device. Like I'm not gonna, it doesn't feel good for me. It's a lot of stress. If there was a situation in which I needed to, I could not have notes and I had to have things memorized, I would do my best. However, if it's up to me, I'm going to put myself in positions where I can at least have the tools that will support me in showing up in the best way possible for the people I'm serving. Because it doesn't matter, like, who am I helping by pretending to be a version of myself or somebody that I'm not? If I know I have the information, if I know I can be of value, but what will support me in being of most and highest value to you is making sure that I have my notes, then I'm going to bring my notes, because I'm here to support you. I'm not here to make myself look like something other than who I am. And that's because the part of that is that self-awareness, right? Because there was a time where I was out here trying to like sneak the note cards and do this and not, like, but for what? Is that helping you at the end of the day? No. Is it helping me? No. It's stressing me out and getting hot. So like for what? I want to have fun. So, wow. Lost my train of thought, went on a rant, no problem. Okay, so step one is the self-awareness assessment. Would highly encourage some sort of additional tool. If you don't want to use human design, they have the personality assessments, they have the strength finders, they have the Myers-Briggs, that's a little more personality. They have the other ones. So you can definitely use those and then review the information that your results from that assessment provide you, and see how much of it, like, do you feel really applies to you, is accurate, does resonate. And for those of you watching live, I'm looking over here like y'all can see me because this is where the comments are. But for those of you watching live, if you've done your human design, drop in the comments, for anybody who hasn't, something that your human design, if you would like to, you don't have to, but my request, drop in the comments something that your human design report, reading, body graph, gave you more access to address or become aware of, inside of how you show up in the world, in life, that has helped you. How has it served you? I'd love to just, get some other folks to share as well. So I gave my example, but you don't always have to take it from me, right? Okay, so that's step one. Step two is your productivity assessment, right? And so this is where you are going to pause for a moment and really, number one, acknowledge what you've done. Because a lot of times, and I know that personally for myself, I'll do things, I'll create things, I'll show up here, I'll do this service, do this for somebody else, and I kind of, it's like I did it and I'm back out. I'm already on to the next thing, and I haven't even given myself I haven't acknowledged myself. I haven't given myself credit for doing these things, right? And so you get to really write it down, ask yourself, make a list, however you want to do it. What have I created? And celebrate yourself for that, right? Like, did you create a course? Amazing. Even if you didn't put the course out, did you create the curriculum? Did you have it down? Did it feel really good when you made it? Give yourself credit. Did you create a space for a client? Did you create a result for a client? Give yourself credit for that. Did you create an awareness, an aha moment for somebody you're serving or a class you were teaching? Give yourself credit for that, right? And then as you're looking at all the things that you have already done, what things came easily? What things did you create with ease? It was so simple. It felt amazing. What things were more challenging? Where did you have more resistance? Was it time-based resistance? Like, oh, I'm procrastinating because I don't want to do this? Or was it like, I don't have the information, I had to go do extra work? Or did you just not enjoy it, period? And take note of that. And then take note of what made each one, the easy things and the challenging things, the way that they work, right? That phrase, what made each one challenging or easy? And just take note of it. This is not a time for you to apply meaning to anything or to make one thing good versus one thing bad. That's not what this is about. Let me be very clear. These 5 steps are not about making you a good person or a bad person or right or wrong. This is simply an opportunity for you to observe what is really happening, what is going on. Because again, you can't fix what you don't observe, what you don't acknowledge, what you don't take a look at. You can't improve, you can't grow, you can't celebrate, you can't eliminate, you can't delegate, any of that stuff if you don't first take a look at it. So step 2 is your productivity assessment. Step 3, oh yeah, I'm getting animated now, is your impact assessment. And again, this is an opportunity for you to celebrate yourself, because in your impact assessment, you are wanting to take a look at how you have impacted other people, whether it is your clients, the people who have paid you, your family members, your friends, your business besties. How have you impacted them? How have you helped them? How have you not helped them? Were there areas where you became more of a hindrance because you overcommitted yourself, right? Or you said you could do something, said you were going to do something, and maybe you didn't show up. And then where are the times where you did show up and you showed up in excellence and in amazing ways and people loved it and they were just so grateful for your support and for your help, right? Acknowledging all of those things. Again, no right, no wrong. There, if let me explain, especially with this one, why there's no right or wrong, right? Because if there is a time where you overcommitted or said yes to something when it should have been a no, you need to acknowledge that without judging yourself, without saying, oh, Camille, you were so stupid. I can't believe you didn't. You said you were going to do that thing. You knew you didn't want to do it and you're so horrible and blah, blah, blah. Like that conversation isn't going to serve you. And it's also not going to give you the clarity that you need to not do it again. Right? To figure out why you did it in the first place, why you made that choice, why you chose to say yes to something that was really a no for you, why you prioritize somebody else's needs over yourself. You have to get to the bottom of that. And then once you get to the bottom of that, again, what? Then we can fix it, then we can look at it, right? So inside of your impact assessment, how have you showed up for people? How have you not showed up for people? When did you overcommit yourself? When did you show up in excellence? Why did they ask for your support? Comma, slash, dash, why did you offer your support? Because, and one of the things that we talk about inside of human design is taking action that isn't actually in alignment with us, our type, or the scenario, right? Because if you offered your energy, your support, your work when it wasn't requested, when it wasn't invited, when you didn't let anybody know, right? And I'm just kind of running through the different types and the different ways in which you'd be out of alignment. 9 times out of 10, your experience is not going to be one in which you enjoyed. And it's not going to be one in which you got the outcome that you desired. And so again, it's not about making you wrong. It's about making sure that you make better choices the next time so that you are fully served, so that you can show up as your best self with the most energy, with the most authenticity, with the most resources that you have to offer, because you're doing it in alignment. Okay. Impact assessment. Step 4, your motivation assessment. This is the last assessment, right? And so this is really about you and the action and the momentum that you take, create, sustain, right? So it's, how hard is it for me to take action in this area, that area, this other area? How easy is it for me to take action in this area, that area, and the other area? How easy is it for me to stay in action once I have begun the action, right? Because there's some people, they can initiate, they can kick it off, and they're in there like swimwear. And then 3 days later, they're like, you know what, though? No, I don't want to do this anymore. And again, this is not a time for you to be judging. It's a time for you to be observing, because there may be an underlying reason why that is. There may be an underlying reason why it was easy to get into action but not stay in action, right? Because maybe you were supposed to be the one to kick things off, to initiate the team of people, but you forgot to bring the team. And so you were initiating yourself, and then you didn't have the energy to sustain the project. Versus if you had initiated amongst a team, then when it's time for you to fall back and just be the guide, or to be the, I don't like that, I was going to say overseer, I don't like that, but to be the one who is kind of the high level, watching over, giving vision, giving some direction. Instead, you found yourself still down there trying to do the work, and that wasn't your role in this particular project, right? So again, these questions aren't about making you wrong or right. It's about you taking a look at who you are, why you're showing up this way, how you're showing up, and what we can do to shift it. So that's the motivation assessment. Now, last step is step 5, the review and integrate. None of these titles are sexy, because I didn't have the capacity for sexy titles today. So the review and integrate step 5, this is where now you are taking all of the answers, all of the information, the data that you've collected from your assessments, if we're keeping it really clinical, right? And you are giving yourself permission to eliminate, celebrate, delegate, right? Inside of your business, because these are going to be the steps for you to create your unique success formula, right? It's, what are the things that I can just fully eliminate? They are not in alignment with me. They do not resonate. They don't work for me, period, as the young people say. Second, what are the things that I can celebrate, meaning do more of, increase and amplify in my life, because they are my shit. They, as little Scrappy would say, you're shiz naive, because these are the things that work really, really well for you. They feel dope, they feel amazing, and you're good at it. Hello, right? So what are the things that you can celebrate? Then what are the things that you can delegate? Because hello, as business owners, of course there are things to run a business that we don't like doing, that we don't necessarily want to do, but still are a part of running a business. I don't know, creating social media graphics, creating marketing graphics in general, looking at your books, having, writing up legalese, right? Creating sales pages, webpage, like all of these things are elements of running a business, but they don't all have to be elements that you are in charge of. So, have to keep, cannot eliminate, but can I delegate? When can I start shifting them away? Which elements, which pieces of them can I allow somebody else who it would be a celebrate item for them to take care of, right? So for me, writing copy would be a delegate. Can I do it? Yeah, but it would not go in my celebrate list, and it definitely can't go in the eliminate list. So I would delegate that, right? Like I would, as soon as possible, if I find somebody, a copywriter who gets my voice, gets my tone, gets my energy. Yeah, here, sis, take it. Please write all the things. And for her, she's like, I absolutely do not like creating curriculum. I don't like making websites, right? And so she's like, I can write all day, but what I'm not going to do is put together the website. I'm not going to make the pictures for this. I'm not going to do that. So she will celebrate the writing that I have delegated to her, delegate the other things to somebody else, or eliminate it altogether if she doesn't need it in her business. So that's that. Celebrate. Yeah. Okay. So eliminate, celebrate, delegate. And then finally, after you've done all that, this is where you now create your formula, right? This is where you redesign things and you say, these are the ways that I am choosing to show up, to perform, to be that feel really good to me, that will still allow me to, number one, have a business that looks the way I want it to look. Meaning, how often are you working? When are you working? How long are you working for? Who are you serving? How are you serving them? All that in the third, right? A business that you love, that feels good to you, and then also is profitable. So you're still showing up in ways in which now you're connecting more with people who resonate with you, resonate with your energy, resonate with your vibes, resonate with the information, resonate with your style, and they want to say yes to you, and they want to keep saying yes to you because they are also being served by working with you. So that is where you get your formula. There's a little more to it, but of course, that is what we will do inside of Permission to Expand. So if you'll allow me, I want to first of all thank those of you who stuck around live to watch all of this. And I just want to share a little bit about Permission to Expand before I wrap this up, because I'm very excited about it. First things first, the doors are open for it right now. There was supposed to be like a link coming up here on the live for you to click, but technology doesn't matter. The website is, again, theintentionalgoddess.com/, the letter P, the number 2, expand. That is where you'll find the sales page with all of the real juicy deets about the program. We are getting started on Thursday, June the 3rd. It's 6 weeks. So every Thursday for 6 weeks, we will be chitty chatting. We'll be meeting, right? We'll be having mini workshops. We'll be live. It'll be on Zoom. There'll be interaction because, again, for me, I like to be in response. Could I record videos and have you guys watch them? Sure. But what also serves and feeds me is being live and getting to interact with you guys in real time. So 6 weeks, 6 workshops. You also will also have a Telegram group where everybody will be able to communicate with each other in between the workshops. You will also have Voxer access to me, like the walkie-talkie app. You may have to download it, but no problem. Which you will be able to, like, especially when you're going through your human design chart, right? Or you're going through your assessment and little things come up and you don't know if necessarily the group needs to hear it or that, it's something that will serve the group. It might be very specific to you. It could be private. You don't want the group to hear it. No problem. But you'd like some support with it. What is the Voxer noise? I can't remember. Anyway. I'm not going to do that to y'all right now. You will have access to me during the 6 weeks that you can ask me questions. We can communicate back and forth as well. So you get some of that private support while also being inside of the group space, doing that group work. Because the beautiful thing, right, about doing this type of work, because it's a little personal development, leadership development, business development, and doing that type of work in group spaces, number one, allows you to see that you are not alone in this, and you also get to see where you are unique inside of the space as well, right? Because that's part of it, your unique success formula. So and I'm just going to use Narissa and Candace because I see that they both commented, right? So while Narissa, it may serve her to show up for her clients with all recorded videos, Candace might be more like me and be like, well, I like to be live, so I'm just going to do everything on Clubhouse and I'll give them some workbooks to work through, right? And you can find your space and what feels good for you. You can be inspired by what other people are talking about inside of that group work and that group space. So that is one of the benefits. I said we have the classes, the group, the Voxer access, right? We will be, number one, talking about your human design. We're going to be going through that because that is the space and that is the foundational tool that I like to use to help you to really, really get to know yourself, right? And so we'll be using that plus the other elements of the self-awareness assessment, right? So that you can start to really acknowledge and celebrate who you are as an individual, who you are as an entrepreneur, who you are as a leader. We'll be taking a look at all of that. We'll be going through then taking a look at your business. How are you doing business now? What's working? What's not working? Some of the things we were talking about in the assessment, but like more in depth, obviously, right? We'll really be going in depth to find the things specifically, like how does your marketing, what would marketing look like for you? What does service look like for you? What are your operations and your systems on the back end look like for you? What are the things that will serve you the best and serve your expanded vision of your life, your business, your service, your mission, right? That we'll have all of that in place because quiet as it's kept, it's not really quiet. I have a business operations background. So the systems, the strategies, that's sort of my jam. I love it. And so I can't help myself but to make sure you have all that in place as well. And then finally, we will be looking at intentional leadership, there are some principles of intentional leadership that were downloaded to me from Spirit. And we'll be looking through that as well, because that also plays a role in how you show up, how you get to show up, how you choose to show up, not just inside of your business, you by yourself, but also when you start having a team, also how you show up for your tribe, for your clients, your customers, your students, all that jazz. So we'll be looking at that as well, putting it all together and doing what? Step 5, reviewing and integrating, but in a lot sexier format. That feels really good. And so by the end, you will walk away with this, not only an expanded vision, but the actual tools and steps and systems and strategies to create and manifest that expanded vision for yourself in a really beautiful way. So I'm really excited about this. There are only 15 spots that are open for this program. We are starting June the 3rd. Enrollment is open now until Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go to the Intentional Goddess /P2, the number 2, expand. theintentionalgoddess.com /P2 expand. Because you have permission to expand. Yay. So, also, the first 5 people to enroll will get a 45-minute coaching session with me as a fast action bonus. So, again, hurry over, make that happen. Anyways, I am complete. This has been really fun. I hope that you took something away from this. I'm going to take a moment to see if anybody has any questions, because I forgot to actually ask for questions throughout this. So I will pause for the cause. There's a little bit of a delay between me live and the Facebook. So if you have a question and you're watching live, go ahead and put it in there right now. If you're watching this replay, you can also comment your question, because guess what? I can still see them and I can get back to you. Yeah. All right. So we're waiting. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to say about permission to expand. Do you like the lady here? This is what is, imagine you when we finish the class. Yay, I have expanded. That feel. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. Actually, it looks like it's just now showing up in the live. So I'll wait another second. So the website again, theintentionalgoddess.com /P2 expand. And that is where you'll be able to read up on everything. When you go to sign up, it will take you over to member vault, and that is where I'll be housing all of our recordings and things like that. And that's where you'll be able to pay. There are 3 payment plans. There are 3 payment options. The full price is $555 if you pay in full. There is the split pay if you want to do 2 monthly payments of $300. And then if it's easiest for you to just do it weekly, you can do $111 a week for 6 weeks and be in there like swimwear. So I don't see any questions coming through. Thank you again for watching, for your time. I hope to see you in the class. I'm really excited about what we get to create together. And I'll see you guys next time. Now I need to find the button to end this. Have an amazing day. Bye, y'all.